The Schedule C, business income or business loss. We are very acquainted with this form and what it's used for and how to report information on it. I want to show you how to do that in this software and the multiple aspects of it. Do some depreciation and move some stuff around. So how do we access this form? Well, we can access it a multitude of ways. Over here on the left hand side, as always, we have our form finder. Type in your schedules. There's your Schedule C, Schedule CEZ. You can also just come over here to the 1040 form, double click on it, and it will pull it up. In addition to the income menu, we have our business income or loss, Schedule C, 1099 miscellaneous, and so forth. Very easy to get to, and you have really your pick as to how you would like to get there. So I'm going to go on the 1040, double click, say we have a new entry, our Schedule C. It's for the taxpayer, and the description is a landscaper. We use this one common because it's very common. You can look up the business code if you would like, but a description actually satisfies the IRS code. So we don't have to put in a business code if we do not like to. Click OK. If you don't have a business name DBA, you can go ahead and just click OK. If you do, you would go ahead and enter all that information at that point. Let's click Exit. These are our questions as they relate to the business and the operation of the business. Most businesses are cash as opposed to accrual, so we'll just stay on a cash basis. And did you materially participate? Absolutely. If you're not doing a pastor's worksheet, a clergy, you can really 99 times out of 100 just sort of skip over this and not pay it too much mind. Let's go Exit, and we are to our Schedule C. If you're familiar with the form, this is what it's made up of. It's three parts. You've got your header, you've got your income, and you've got your expenses, and then it calculates out and tells you where you ended up. So we did that same thing. We've got our header, we've got our income and our expenses. We just sort of consolidated it and made it so that it's a little more user-friendly to navigate. The arrows again on the left-hand side tell you that these items do expand. So we click on that, and it gives us exactly what we saw in the other form. Right? This is exactly what we saw. So under our gross receipts or sales, if we click in here, we can create a list if we would like by clicking F10. Tab, hit enter, and what was this for? This was for April. Our receipt showed 1,500 bucks. And then for May, we had a little bit of a down month. And June, we had a good month. So we'll call that good. Now, if you have a 1099K, that gets added to your gross receipts or sales. There's a lot of confusion around that form, and basically the IRS, some softwares actually have the 1099K. We're thinking about that, but we just add it here because the IRS doesn't really look at that. If you look at it, it doesn't get sent in that format to the IRS currently. They're not even ready to accept it, so we don't pay it too much mind. I'm going to go into my 1099 miscellaneous, and we got one of those as well from this guy, and it was for non-employee compensation. Generally speaking, other income, if it's reported on line 3, gets carried to the 1040. Line 7 is supposed to go to that Schedule C or have a business activity associated with it. So we'll pop that in, no withholdings, exit, exit, and you can see that it totals up down here at the bottom. I'm going to click exit here, go into my expenses, and we'll start putting some expenses against that $6,500 in income. We had a big advertising expense. We had mileage. This is very common. So let's spend a second on this. If we go under car and truck expense, we have our car and truck standard mileage rate, and we're going to click into number 1. It's the most commonly used. And what date was it placed in service? 01/01 of 15, and we drove 5,500 miles, and we had commuting miles of 1,000, and we'll say that we had 1,500 of personal miles as well. Why not? So in here, you can see that the questions are defaulted to yes. I would hope that you do have written evidence of these deductions and these expenses, receipts, or mileage log, or whatever it is that you're using to validate this expense. We click exit, and exit, there's our amount. The only other tricky one in here, other than meals and entertainment, is depreciation. A lot of people have questions about depreciation. How do I do this? Where does this carry over to? Depreciation couldn't be simpler than in our program. So we click depreciation. We're always, I shouldn't say always, but 99.95% of the time we're going to use the depreciation module. Click new. What is the item? It is a brand new tractor. And we got it at the beginning of the year just to keep it simple. And the cost of that tractor was $5,000. And we don't have any accumulated depreciation because it's brand new to us. And we're going to go down to straight line, and we're going to say that it's got a useful life of 7 years. Click OK. There it is. Broke it out for us. Our current year deduction is $714. Click exit. Exit. There's your $714. Now, meals and entertainment, you have to know the rules that relate to those and use those appropriately, but you can see that it's got a percentage associated with them. And everything else is very straightforward. Now, our income for that activity went down. We'll call it the first year of the business, front-loaded costs, and we'll escape from there. And that is really the Schedule C. It's not much more difficult than that. Big thing, this is just kind of my 2 cents. Please make sure we get due diligence for all of these business activities. IRS is coming in, knocking on doors, and causing a lot of headaches for a lot of people. So the more documentation you can gather on these items, especially for businesses, the better. Make sure they got a bank account. Make sure that they've got some sort of business license or LLC or something just to help you out. And thank you for watching. Hope this was helpful. Talk to you soon.